Hello YouTube, I'm Charles with Charles Acrylics. Today we're going to go over how to paint a basic mountain range. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Please subscribe, like, share, and hit the bell to be notified of newly uploaded videos. Now normally I would start off with a darker blue for the distant mountains and kind of work forward more towards the brown and green color to resemble trees. But this time I have these mountains starting off in a dark green. Because of the cloud tutorial, I put green on the mountains just to kind of show some contrast between the clouds to give a little example. But I actually quite enjoyed having the dark green background as the block end color for these mountains. It added a little bit different variety in the shadowing as I went through and mapped out each range. So I may do that again in the future, I don't know, we'll see. But as far as these mountains, I'm basically using raw umber and burnt sienna to identify each range for each highlight, and then using a little bit of yellow ochre for the highlighted parts.
And as I'm applying this color, I'll be using a number 8 nylon flat brush.
Now for myself personally, how I do my mountains, I always use at least 3 different colors that are primarily the same color, but then just using a darker scale to mid-tone and then to the highlight. That's why I'm using the raw umber, burnt sienna, and yellow ochre as my 3 colors, and using all 3 of those in unison to apply your shadows to show hills that are further away or closer away, and then using the highlighted yellow ochre to accent those colors back and forth. This hillside is actually going to have trees covering it, so having those 3 colors in the background and trees over top of it, it will kind of give a nice little variety in between the tree breaks. Now that I got the mountains pretty much how I want them and kind of a good outline for me for the trees to go on, I'll work on that mountain there in the background. Like I said, for mountains that are off in the distance, you're going to have a little bit of blue into your coloring, and that will give the illusion or the appearance that it's further off in the distance. So I'll still be using my burnt sienna, my yellow ochre, but then adding a little bit of blue into it, so it's almost a muddied bluish brown color. And in the distance it'll be less detail, so I'm only going to have about 2 different colors. Still going with that brown, that yellow ochre, and the blue, and just a little bit lighter by adding a little more ochre, or a little bit darker by adding just a little more brown.
And this distant mountain will be done with a number 2 nylon flat brush. Grabbing our number 8 nylon flat brush.
Now we can begin on the trees. They're going to be covering this hillside here. You'll be starting with the dark green. So you can just take your yellow and your blue, mix those together to give yourself a green, add in a little bit of red to kind of muddy it down a little bit, more favoring the blue side. And that will give you that dark kind of hunter green, dark forest green. And you're just kind of scattering those out. Remember, these are just distant trees, so they're not too precise on detail, just kind of scattering them all around, but more or less focusing on the areas of your mountainside where the light isn't hitting it. And that's where you'll be starting with your dark green. Now that we got the bulk laid out of where we want our trees to be at, we can start adding in a little primary yellow into our dark green and lightening this up a little bit. And as we go back over these trees, we don't want to completely cover up all the dark green that we put down. We want to leave some area, because as we come in with lighter and lighter portions of green, leaving those dark areas will allow more depth into your trees.
Now we're getting into the highlights of our trees, so we'll be switching to a number 2 nylon flat brush. And since these are highlights, we'll be using this color sparingly. It'll be more of a primary yellow in our green. And in your placement of the highlights, you want to think of where the light is going to be hitting these trees. You can also use it to accent the mountains that are further away to the ones that are closer. The light green will play off of the dark green and allow more depth. Well, that just about covers how I go about painting my mountain ranges. I hope this will help you in your paintings. If you enjoyed watching my videos, please don't forget to subscribe, to like, share, and hit the bell to be notified of newly uploaded videos. God bless and happy painting.